Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Marked by Wrestling, watching NXT. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. We got three different title matches tonight. One of them's a cage match, triple threat match. Will it be the last time we see Jacy Jayne as women's champion? We'll see. Three ladies title matches, I might add, to qualify. Not only that, but I know a lot of people dunk on the speed title, but Wren Sinclair gets herself a title shot tonight, and it's not even burying the lead here, but it's Booker T Appreciation Night, award-winning commentator Booker T is here and in the house because they're in Houston. So we'll have to see what happens. Good to see you guys. Hello to Dossie. Good to see you, Zach, George. Welcome, everybody. And to the rest of you here, make sure you like and subscribe. Shamanica, good to see you. Glad you're in the house. We're going to have a good time. I don't even know what match is going to be first, but they're live. We're getting a little bit of a earlier today. Oh, Booker T arriving in a Cybertruck. Good for you, Booker. What a day, man. Heat wave has struck my area. Unseasonably hot. So, but here we are. Now, yep, there's a Tatum Paxley, North American champion, defending in a steel cage against Izzy Dame. You're right, George. Kendall Gray has she has vacated the Evolve title, so she's permanently on NXT. And we are starting with the women's title. Okay, here comes Ruca. We're starting with the triple threat. I would have thought that would have been the main event too, Shamanica. Now I'm starting to wonder if the cage match will main event. Here comes Ruca. This will be really telling because, a lot of people saw Kendall Gray vacate the Evolve title and immediately think, oh, she's going to be the one to beat Jacy Jayne, which may end up being true because, we don't know what Stand and Deliver is going to look like just yet. However, I'm just, I really would like to see either Soul or Zaria walk out of this with the title and let what we're assuming is an inevitable one-on-one match at Stand and Deliver to be for the title. I would really go for that. So here we go, and now here comes Zaria. So Jacy Jayne, understandably, making her debut last. Here she comes. Yeah, so it's 3 NXT still Stand and Deliver. So yeah, Stand and Deliver is going to be on Easter weekend. So it's April 3rd, I think. And you know what's interesting? I was pulling up through Netflix, right, to watch NXT, and in 2 weeks, they have the weekly NXT episode listed as Roadblock. So are we going to get Roadblock before Stand and Deliver with like less than a month away? That's crazy. I'd be very surprised if we get that. So nevertheless, but the PLEs moving from Peacock to YouTube, I'm a big fan of that. I think it's more accessible that way. Peacock is not the best streaming platform of all the ones we use to watch wrestling. Just it ain't. I have most of my problems with Peacock trying to watch the NFL this past season on them, and the wrestling is okay, but yeah, I don't have a clue where this match is going. What I would like to see is Zaria win this match, or Soul. Actually, I could see Soul winning this match and maybe Zaria beating her at Stand and Deliver. But yeah, Fallon and Laney are in tow. And I'm definitely rooting for Wren Sinclair to dethrone Fallon Henley tonight. So we'll see what happens. Oh yeah, there could be some definite shenanigans here. Um, Triple threats can be that way, but Fatal Influence, yeah, they've got a tall order ahead of them tonight. Can Jacy retain? I mean, she certainly can. Um, it's going to be very interesting to see what Jacy Jayne's. We're all kind of collectively thinking Jacy's probably going to get called up soon. When will we see the last of her? Honestly, I wouldn't mind Big Soul Ruca chance here in Houston. Jacy, Jacy just kind of standing in the back, being like, you know what? Why don't you two go for it? No, I don't think it's a downgrade, Sophie. I don't think it's a problem at all. I mean, Peacock is not one of the highest streaming platforms in the first place outside of the NFL. Um, and I thought that Netflix or ESPN would be an option here, but they also something WWE is really doing is broadening their availability on multiple platforms. I mean, they have YouTube, they have Netflix, they have ESPN, blah blah blah. And AAA seems to be getting a lot of traction with people too. Great, nothing is or should be on the level of Raw and SmackDown in terms of viewership. So I think YouTube is a really accessible option because it's free. Um, and TKO and WWE, they're getting their money, so they can afford to do that. Sol and Zaria going at it here on the turnbuckle. Yeah, Sean is still doing the computer illiterate gimmick in 2026, even as he was in the mid to late 90s. Big splash from Soul coming in to break up the pin, gets a 2 count of her own. Loud Soul Ruka chance. I don't think so, Sophie. I don't think they're going to lose any fans by going to YouTube because they're still going to be on the CW every week. So they're not going to lose fans to the PLE. Everyone, oh my gosh, Soul almost took a bad crash. She did a handspring over the top rope, but she hit the rope in mid flip and almost landed on her head, but she rotated enough to save it. Goodness, be careful out there, Soul. Just as she gets thrown into the steps. Um, yeah, Shamanika, you have a good perspective there. I mean, it would be a big rush here, but it would be a big rush to get Jacy some other kind of matchup going in to stand and deliver. But we might see Jacy retain here and her take care of uh, her face up against Kendall Gray and stand and deliver instead. Which like that won't be a bad match either. I mean, I think a lot of people could pick up NXT, reaction content creators if it's already on YouTube, because I think that it's really hard to watch weekly without some alternative plan unless you're on the East Coast. Yes, George, Jacy did beat Kendall Gray once before already. Um, but yeah, let's see. Hey, last name, this is the opening match of the show. And that's the thing, George, is that Jacy has beaten Kendall Gray, and I love Kendall Gray, but doesn't it seem a little anticlimactic for that to be Jacy's swan song? Here's something I think could work, but it would just be really rushed, is if tonight Jacy and Fallon both lose their titles and they break up, and they break up tonight. And it's Jacy versus Fallon at Stand and Deliver, kind of on the undercard. But the dissolution of Fatal Influence feels like I don't know, it just feels like a bit rushed. So let's just strap in and go along for the ride and see what they've got for us. Right, New Year's Evil, Shamanica. Yeah. Lockwood, what's my favorite match from this new era of NXT? That's a great question. You know what? I think from this era, Julia and Stephanie Vaquer was very good. Also the ladies, I think it was the ladies, what's it called? Iron Survivor match was really good too. And then what else? Oba, Trick, and Javon, triple threat. Good stuff. There are dueling Jacy chants in here, Cena style. John Brooks, good to see you, man. 100% Brock made Oba look like $1 million, and I'm very, very excited for that match happening. I didn't predict the match would happen, but I did predict Oba would have a match at WrestleMania way back in the end of December. And here we are. He gets the big one. And when Brock, I don't know if you guys have seen the clips, but Brock, when he was on his back, said to Oba, "Put your foot on my chest," like, you know, when he's posing. It took me right back to just before COVID. He was giving Drew notes as well to look dominant over him. And so when Brock is motivated to make a guy, fix your plates, guys, because we're going to eat well at Mania with that match. Jasper and Obafemi was a good match, yeah. Yeah, Soul could be. I could see a scenario with any of these three women winning this match. I do think Zaria is probably the least likely to win this match, but we'll see what happens. Top three for women: Stephanie, Julia, Jordan, Kalani. Jordan and Kalani was a good match, yeah. And the Evolution NXT title match, yeah, that was good too. Soul cracks Jacy with a spear. This is a pro Soul crowd, man. A pro Soul crowd. Oba, Dijak, and Briggs. Ooh, good stuff there. Oh, Zaria. Soul is well, I mean, I guess they're all from Florida, but I thought she was from Florida originally too, but I might be wrong. Let me take a look. Oh, she's from just outside of LA. She's from Ontario, California. Did not know that. It's not too far from here. All right, let's see. Flights getting delayed to Houston. Yeah, the weather is crazy. It's almost 100 degrees where I am. And one of my kids is on a trip, a college trip to DC. And he said it's 30 degrees there. So it's just wild. The Roman and Punk, I don't know. The Roman and Punk segment last night was all right. Braun, JD, and Ilya. That was a good one. I didn't know that either, Shamanica. I can see it now that you pointed out that there's a homemade element to it. Okay. Jacy script man. Jacy threw that cannonball onto Zaria and one for Soul too. Zaria caught Jacy. F5 coming up. Got her. Can Soul come in to break up the pin? Nope. Yeah, Raw wasn't bad. They're making that build to Mania. It's coming together. I think the Oba and Brock thing was the hottest thing on the show for sure. But they're building towards stuff. Oh, F5 into an X Factor. Soul just knocked Zaria out of the ring. So just Soul and Jacy in the ring now. Soul Snatcher. Soul and Jacy, only ones in the ring. Soul Snatcher. This could be it. Where's the ref? Oh. Zaria just pulls Soul out of the ring, and she just F5 Soul on the floor. Throwing Soul back in, but Jacy's up now. Oh no, Fatal Influence just pulled Zaria out. F5 coming for Fallon, and now Jacy's got her covered. Wow. Zaria had Soul beat, and the interference from Fatal Influence allowed Jacy to make the cover instead. Jacy retains, so she'll be going to Stand and Deliver. That's solid booking. I would have loved to see a new champion there, but Jacy snuck one away, so she looks weak going into Stand and Deliver. Zaria clearly had sort of a visual victory over Sol Ruca. And yeah. So Zaria just wasn't fast enough. So yeah, we'll see what happens. See what happens here. What a look of shock too. Laney Reed just carrying Jacy like a baby. That's hilarious. Yeah, last name. I think Soul might get called up after Mania. I think it's inevitable. She's got that superstar look. We got the Wren QCC backstage. And here comes Birthright. Solid logic from Charlie. Told Wren, you found somebody that you relate to better, and so did I. All right, well, we have one retaining tonight, and I'm gonna not be happy if Izzi. Okay, Lola giving a little shout out to Wren. All right, so we're probably going to get Lola versus Kendall in a number one contender match, I'm guessing. Now, Ricky Saints coming out next after the ad break. Lockwood, you're not wrong about that. He just sticks out. No, I keep Zaria in NXT for a while. I don't think she needs to come up just yet. And it's not because she's not good. It's just you don't have to bring everybody up at the same time. They got lucky with Oba, Trick, and Javon, with all of them being so over in their own way. But yeah. Sophie, that's kind of hilarious that the Oscars, which are notoriously criticized for running long, was still shorter than an AEW pay-per-view. Probably including the red carpet time. Yeah. So anyway, that's our first match right out of the gate. We still have a speed title match. We still have the cage match as well. And I gotta say, I presume Tatum is going to retain over Izzi in the cage match. So if that has 2 title defenses, successful defenses tonight, we've got to get Wren as a speed champion, right? Like, we got to get Wren as the speed champion, guys. We'll see what happens. What's my favorite indie match? Ooh, gosh. I'll have to think about that. I haven't regularly watched indie wrestling in quite some time, but I'll get back to you. I grew up watching both the WWF and the NWA/WCW. And I rode with those till the wheels fell off of WCW. Watched a little bit of ECW, most of that in hindsight. Watched some TNA over the years. But then, yeah, but then we have, AEW. I've tried it a couple times, but that's that. What's my favorite OBA match? Oh gosh, good question. I'd really need to go back and see a list of them, but the ones that stand out to me are really like that trinity, you know, him, Trick, him, Javon, when they were all kind of, you know, making their way around each other. John, not a fan of the speed titles. I get it. I get why some people don't like them, but I think NXT is the perfect place for speed titles because you can let people just go all out, and it's a short, fixed time frame. And then not only that, you can have title pictures for people that you don't want to put in the North American or world title picture. So I don't mind that. Lifting the blackout, man. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, that's a no-brainer. They should have done that. They should have had blackouts in the first place. I mean, I know they want to sell tickets, but if people can't afford to go to Mania, they're not gonna, taking away blackouts. I mean, and enforcing blackouts on watch parties is not gonna make them buy tickets. Like, those are too large. That's a large economic gap between I'm gonna go to Buffalo Wild Wings to watch WrestleMania to I'm gonna buy a ticket to WrestleMania. Shamanica, you hit the nail on the head. It's good for people like Alba and Maxine who can't win a main title. Although Maxine did win the women's intercontinental title. We want to give her flowers. But yes, it's a good way to attach a title to a feud, and it's a good way to just get people TV time too. That's one thing I like about the tournament mode going into the title match for Speed is that it gives people TV time. Like, I never knew. Think about this. I don't know that I would have known who Elio LaFleur and Eli Knight were without the men's speed tournament. I did know about Sean Legacy, but those 3 guys right now, like, really drew some attention to themselves because of those speed matches. Now, Legacy had for a little bit on his own prior to that, but he really got signal boosted recently because of those. So that's a good thing. Again, I wouldn't necessarily want to tie up top tier talent in there. And it's a good belt for Fallon Henley to have, honestly, because I mean, she could be in the North American title picture. I don't think she would be a bad opponent for Tatum at Stand and Deliver. You could have her lose this match and then challenge Tatum at Stand and Deliver. How you go from losing one title to challenging for the next one in 3 weeks, I don't know, unless you win some sort of number 1 contenders match, but that's the best I can think of. If the Speed Championships was a main roster thing, would I complain? I wouldn't complain. I tend to not lean towards complaining in wrestling. There's too much of that to go around in the first place. If something really just rubs me the wrong way, I'd just kind of not watch it, But the Speed Championship can be used for a lot of things, and it just doesn't need to be presented as like a top tier title. And as long as they're not trying to do that, as long as it has its little corner of the show, I think it'd be fine. Because again, you've already got built-in time limits on the matches, which is part of the fun of the gimmick. Here comes Ricky Saints. bro, if bro's not looking like Timu Hollywood Rock right now, and I know he's doing it on purpose. Oh gosh. Ricky Saint's excited. Jelly Roll might have a tag match. I mean, yeah, I heard about that. Yeah. They're gonna make their way. They're gonna make their way to filling out the Mania card. I think if anything, I hope enough people online, the people who complain about the build to WrestleMania, like saw what happened with Brock and Oba on Monday and have just learned to I hope everyone has learned at least a little bit to just be patient with the booking. I could have told y'all from Mania, not sorry. I could have I could have told y'all at the Rumble that they were looking towards Brock and Oba. But everyone ran with, dirt sheet reporters saying, oh, it's going to be LA Knight. Oh, Brock doesn't want to lose to Oba, so he's not going to face him. And what happened? And what happened last night? Like 75, 80 million views already. It's just ridiculous. So enjoy the ride. It's fine to criticize when you're not happy with things. I criticized Cena's heel turn last year and the way they did Mania last year. But, for the most part, I want to see what happens before I complain instead of complaining about a thing that's not even happened yet. Hey, Shamanica, what do you got to say? Who are your favorite NXT stars, men and women you've been enjoying? Mine are Kalani and Ethan. That's very good, Shamanica. I like Ethan a lot too. I like him a lot. I'm very interested in Birthright right now. You know me. I'm a sucker for the old generation stuff. Just look behind me. So, Baby Finley and Baby Regal and Baby Pillman, all in a all in a faction together. I'm very interested in that right now. As far as ladies, I've got a lot of fan love for Wren Sinclair. She's really grown on me quickly. I like Kendall Gray too. And then I've always liked Lola, of course, and Miss Parker, of course. So yeah, it's hard not to find someone in the women's division to get attached to in NXT because it's so deep. All right, here comes Ethan Page. Ollie go. Yeah, a real sad thing about Richie Steamboat, Sophie. Back injury put him out. Who do I think Randy Orton was talking about? I'm curious if he's talking about Ted DiBiase Jr. I'm just curious if they'll do a legacy reunion in this build to WrestleMania. Now's the time to do it if you're ever going to do it. This disingenuous complimenting still going on. I don't think they're dusting off the Rock for Mania again because there was so much backlash to him not showing up. But you know what? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Last name? No, I don't have Ted as a ref. I think it'll be. Remember when? Oh, here comes Joe Hendry. Last name? Do you remember when Kurt Angle attacked Marty Jannetty and Sherry when he was feuding with Shawn Michaels? I feel like it'll be like a one night thing, or even a 1 week thing with Ted. I don't think he'll be involved in the match itself. I don't know if Junior is. I know they were in some trouble. Yeah, Lockwood. I would rather The Rock just go headfirst into his Hollywood career, and he can just show up, at Hall of Fames or thousandth episodes of Raw, get his flowers, say a few catchphrases, and leave. I just don't want The Rock involved in storylines anymore. Like we don't need it. We don't need it. I just don't think he can commit to it the way he did at WrestleMania 40. And every time he would show up to get involved in a story is just another time that he is not actually putting Cody over. And if he's not going to put Cody over, I don't want to see him, because he owes Cody at this point. Yeah, the Rocks, the Rhodes, the Mysterio. There's a lot of royal families in wrestling. I mean, even Randy's dad himself is an Orton. I don't think Randy was on the phone with KO, because I don't think KO has a family lineage connection. I love you guys chat, and I think we're having a good chat on the side here, but it's really telling that I'm just not super into this world title picture, the men's world title picture. I don't know who that's on. I just feel like there has been a big void in NXT, the NXT's men division, with the departures of Javon, Oba, and Trick. And all three of the men in the ring are very talented, but you can feel the void. You know what I mean? Are we going to get a triple threat at Stand and Deliver? I didn't watch a lot of AEW, but this feels very like Chris Jericho and MJF, or Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. We're pretending to fight, but we're in cahoots the whole time. Yeah, I mean, if Dustin wasn't so locked down by AEW, I would love to see him get involved in a Cody feud at some point. Oh, there's Tony. Tony D just showed up. Now things got interesting. Spears injury, big choke slam, kind of a choke slam spine buster. I feel so bad. I forgot about Tony for a second. So maybe we're getting a fatal four way at Stand and Deliver. I mean, Tony is the guy for the men's division right now. Like he's got the best. He's got the best buzz out of the men right now. All right, last week's segment with Birthright and Regal and Finley. Yeah, Lashley Farouk style. Stone. Regal talking to Stone. Interesting. Regal said he's going to talk to HBK about making Stone a permanent GM. And listen, kayfabe or not, I think Stone's handling a GM has been far better than Ava. I mean, and that's no shade on Ava. Ava grew on me after a while, and I was sad to see her leave. But and I was hesitant about them naming Stone. But Stone has actually been a very interesting, fair kind of GM, in that he doesn't necessarily like lean babyface or lean heel. He's just like, I don't know, there's a realism to Stone as a GM, which actually I kind of like. Yeah, Chris Wrestling Views. Welcome to the chat, by the way, brother. Good to see you, man. I'm here for this version of Tony D, far more than the Godfather. I almost said Modfather. I hope he comes in tonight. Than the Godfather aspect. Do I think Danhausen and Miz have a match at WrestleMania? I don't think Danhausen wrestles at WrestleMania. I wouldn't, because I think he might still. No, he's not injured. No, he debuted in AEW as injured. Sorry, I was remembering that incorrectly. I don't think you need Danhausen to wrestle at WrestleMania. He just needs a segment. Just give him a segment, and it could be him and Miz, or somebody else. Well, Chris, Regal doesn't really have a role in NXT right now. So, like last week, when Charlie Dempsey joined Birthright, William Regal and Fit Finlay both showed up during the match. They didn't get involved, but they just stood in the aisleway and attracted some attention. And so, if anything, they're kind of like managers for Birthright. That's the best way I can put it. Yeah, Grayson was cursed by Danhausen. Yeah, I mean, Shawn Michaels, I mean, he's the booker. He's the Triple H of NXT. Kind of like how Triple H was over NXT when Vince was booking Raw and SmackDown. So yeah, Shawn's just kind of oversees, like he's the head honcho of NXT basically. Yeah, I mean, Sophie, they're just getting started, so I think they could have a run for a while. Um, I would I would kind of like to see Stacks out of the group though. I know he's there by marriage. Well, not even marriage, but by engagement to Ariana. But yeah. Would love to see something with Birthright. I think we'll find out because the tag title tournament starts tonight. The number one contender tournament to the tag title. And not she, but Birthright is going to be taking on, I believe, Hank and Tank in the first round. Yeah, Chris. Well, I mean, that's exactly it. Shawn has always had a good mind for booking. I mean, if you just look at a lot of his feuds, ignore the feuds where he faked an injury so he didn't have to give up a belt. But think about how many memorable Shawn Michaels feuds there have been. Bret, Undertaker, Flair, Jericho. That's just to name a few. Razor. Gosh, what other ones has shot? Kurt Angle. Like so many, right? So many classes. And it's not just because he was good in the ring, but they could build. Even, you know what? He even had a fun little feud with the model Rick Martel. That was a very NXT-ish kind of feud back in the early 90s, where he and Rick Martel both had arrogant heel personas, and they were fighting over the services of Sherry, and they agreed to have a match where they didn't hit each other in the face. And like, it's just little stuff like that. Shawn has a great mind for the business because he is old school. He's back. He's from a time, before Triple H. Yeah, the Cena feud was good too last time. Yeah. He comes from a time where they put a lot more emphasis on not just the match itself, but like how you get there, and not like cinema or pre-recorded vignettes and stuff, but it really is about like how do you get there. And that's something that's missing from time to time, is the weekly build of stuff. And you before you know it, you're building anticipation for a match, so when you get there, you actually want to see it, not just because it's going to be a banger or anything either. It'll be that it's a bonus for Shawn Michaels, because if you're going to see a Shawn Michaels match, you're going to get that too. But yeah, and I think Shawn takes that mindset into how they book NXT. I mean, that's just my opinion, right? I don't know anything. By the way, got my Shawn barbershop window shirt on tonight, in honor of Chef HBK. Yeah, Hunter is a little image conscious, I think, Chris. You not Not entirely wrong about that. Last name, I think Gunther and Ray would be fantastic at WrestleMania, but from what I understand, I'm not sure Ray's going to be available for Mania, so I don't know where that leaves Gunther. Is Gunther the modern day William Regal? I think he's kind of a hybrid between Regal and Finley, if I say so myself. That's a good that is a good uh, instinct. Good comparison. So anyway, 6-man tag on the way. The Americanos versus the entirety of the Vanity Project, which includes Jackson Drake, Evolved Champion, men's Evolved Champion. And of course, the Vanity Project current NXT Tag Team Champions, who will be facing the winner of the tag team tournament at Stand and Deliver. Are we all in agreement that it would be worth a WrestleMania match to have Americano versus Americano in a mask versus mask match at Mania? I think that would be fun. I did see the Americano match last night. I think they could go another round again, and I think on the Mania stage could be really fun. Houston doing the 10 count, the 10 punch and the corner count in Spanish. Oh, wow. Shout out to the Vanity Project. So, Vanity Project pulled one of the Americanos out of the corner in the 10 punch pose, like, and he was going to stun gun him, but the other Vanity Project guy ran down the apron and like helped kind of code break him on the top rope. It was pretty well executed. All right, now we're going 6-man no rules lucha style here almost. It's kind of amazing how the El Grande Americano gimmick has evolved. Now they're all doing penta-ish walks in the ring. Izzy Dame and the Culling planning backstage. The Americanos are pretty over. Oh man, Lockwood, sorry to hear that, man. Things are going around in a bunch of communities. I did like Americanos all black gear. It was a pretty good look. Last name, did you like it? Great double teaming going on in this match. This very much feels like a Nitro era sort of 6-man tag. It's been a lot of fun so far. Man, Jackson Drake with a big German suplex there. Only two though. Black Tiger Mask. Oh, good call. Hmm. Coming up, let's see. Are we on ad break or not? Yeah. Yeah, we're still getting Houston, by the way, still counting in Spanish. Right, Lockwood. I know. The knee pads, it's off-putting, isn't it? Man. Tell you what, the Vanity Project, they're growing on me a little bit. I think Jackson Drake, of all 3 of them, has a if you put some knee pads on, has a bright future in NXT. Um, I think he and Sean Legacy and Eli Knight and Elio LaFleur, like all those guys could really be sort of the next men up. Would be pretty good. So by the way, if you guys are oh man, great spear by the Vanity Project. Sorry, I know we're on commercial break, but this match is still pretty impressive, even in commercial break. Um, if you're new to the channel, by the way, I just started a special series with my big brother David, and every Monday, sometimes Tuesday, um, we release an episode of a show we do called Mount Rushmore Matches. So what we've been doing is going back in history to some performers that are retired or Hall of Fame or whatever that maybe don't get a lot of play anymore, and give you some matches to go check out if you want to ingratiate yourself or introduce yourself to some really good kind of retro wrestling. So we've done an episode on the Steiner brothers, did an episode on Nikita Koloff, the Russian Nightmare, as he was known, and the past 2 weeks, we just finished this the second episode of this two-parter. We did Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. We did an NWA slash WCW episode on Steamboat, and just this week, I've uploaded our episode on his time in the WWF. Yes, we talk about WrestleMania 3, of course, among some of his other matches. And yeah, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, maybe my most favorite wrestler of all time. And anyway, so yeah, if you want to help out the channel and get my views up, get my hours logged, so we can crown a super chat champion here before the end of the year. The more hours we get, um, you know, the closer we'll get to doing that. So just keep that in mind and help me get there, and we'll be there before you know it. All right, we're almost back from commercial break. 6-man tag happening right now. The Vanity Project versus the Americanos that are stealing the show. I don't know if I would say that, but they're having a really great matchup here. Oh, sick German suplex that happened in the commercial break. I'm glad they showed that in replay. It was almost a little too much, but they got it. Oh, Jackson Drake now trying to do the Three Amigos, which is what you do in Texas to try to get some heat. Trying to do the Eddie shimmy and everything. Just crowd is absolutely eating it up and booing him. El Grande in now. He's got chops for the Vanity Project. Ooh, sick clothesline, little short arm clothesline there. Double blockbuster by El Grande. Drake breaking things up. Here comes Bravo. Spinning forearm. Whoa. Handspring gets caught in a burning hammer position by Bravo. And, oh, man, reverse airplane spin. Oh, and now they're putting hats on. Ryo and Bravo with cowboy hats on. Suicide dives with cowboy hats. Now El Grande and Brad Baylor. Air raid crash. Only two. I did not see the AAA show. I saw some highlights of the Dom Mysterio match. And listen, AAA appears to keep firing on all cylinders. So I'm happy for him. But, there's just so much programming these days. I can't watch it all. But if I had more time to watch things, I would check out AAA more frequently because there always seems to be a lot of fun. Here comes Jackson Drake in the rack position. Burning hammer from Jackson Drake. Only two. Now Vanity Project has got El Grande covered. Drop kick into a spine buster and then a 450 from Jackson Drake. Only two. Wow. Quite a pile up there. Americano and Dom, they're both kind of baby faces, aren't they? In Mexico. Whoa. Big kick off the ropes from El Grande. He's got Jackson Drake alone. Reversal, roll up. Oh, Ryo Americano tells the ref that Vanity Project is cheating, and now El Grande's got the steel plate and the mask. He's about to get dropped. Oh, one member of the Vanity Project gets the headbutt, and now El Grande headbutts the turnbuckle, eats a knee. But Jackson Drake doesn't realize Ryo is hey Nico, legal. There's a lot of action going on here. And there's the headbutt from El Grande. There's three. Ole. All right, Los Americanos. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that was kind of match of the night so far. There's Elio LaFleur. Uh-oh, Sean Legacy looks hurt. Oh, Legacy's hurt. Ooh. Elio LaFleur and Eli Knight now taking on the culling. Elio replacing Sean Legacy. Soul wants to meet Zaria face-to-face next week. Oh, we get Booker T Appreciation Night coming up after the break. What kind of shenanigans will we be witness to? He wanted to become third to face the Vanity Project. He would chop those guys down, wouldn't he? That would be absolutely wild. Would be absolutely crazy. And back to break now. Oh man, the Americools. I like that last name. That's a good call. Yeah, I will say this in regards to Booker. Um, he has drawn the attention of Keanu Carver the past couple of weeks in not the best way. So we'll see. We'll see if that ends up rearing its ugly head um, this week as well. On top of that, Keanu Carver last week uh, dropped Jasper Troy through the announce table and used that to kind of trash talk Booker T as well, with their LFG connections. So I wonder if Jasper Troy will be involved in any sort of way. We'll have to see what happens, of course, but see what kind of Booker T appreciation we'll have for ourselves this evening. We're not just Americano, we're Americool. Yeah, okay, but they have to leave the riding lawnmowers out of it, though. Can't be doing that. Oh man, yeah. So the Mania build is quite interesting. We'll have to see for sure how things are going to shake out. But so far so good. They keep inching towards matches. We obviously have the title a bunch of title matches, like 4 title matches already built, and we have Oba and Brock already laid out. I imagine I don't know. There's a part of me that imagines we'll probably get Drew and Jacob Fatu in a match. We're probably getting AJ Lee and Becky Lynch again in some sort of stipulation match. We might get Americano versus Americano, in the mask match. We could. I don't know if Dom is going to be available, but if he is, Dom versus Finn seems like a natural match as well. Um, I could imagine Priest and R-Truth getting a tag title match, maybe a multi-tag team match. Um, and I'm interested about the Kabuki Warriors too. Like, will there be a tag title match, or will Kyrie finally have enough of Asuka's berating for all these months? But yeah, I think you're going to have the Kabuki Warriors have Lash Legend and Nia Jax. You have Bailey and Lyra. So you know what? It's gonna be something. There's so many, and you know what? We might end up with the Usos and the Vision too for the tag titles. So we'll see what happens. All right, so we're back in the ring. Chris, you might be right. Finn and Tama get some of those Bullet Club guys together, or Finn and Shinsuke. Are those Booker's kids? It would be wild as if Stevie Ray was here. I agree, George. I think we're going to see. Oh yeah, that's Charmel. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Is one of the best WCW themes, by the way. Super underrated. No, no, yes, yes. Yeah. I always dug Booker's theme in WCW, and I'm glad he got to keep it in coming into WWE. All right, Booker getting dapped up by everybody. Yeah, George, I agree. I mean, who knows what's going to happen, but I think that's a feasible thing. Dan House, you are cursed. Is Vic Joseph really that tall? Because Booker was huge and he looks short compared to Vic Joseph. Are we getting a video package, a Booker T video package? Come on. Let's see who all we got talking to him. HBK, of course, and Vic. Harlem Heat, baby. Bobby Heenan. Oh, they got Jasper Troy, Joe Hendry. Okay, so this is going to kind of be NXT specific, I guess. The grocery store brawl with Steve Austin. Brilliant. Price check on Jackie. I love that. King Booker. King Booker was one of the best King gimmicks of all time, maybe the best, including Jerry Lawler. Bad Bunny. Last name, I'd love to see Danhausen curse the Vanity Project right before the tag match, the tag title match. Jacy. Okay. Now, they really should have Stephanie Vaquer and Trick Williams in here. If they were legit doing a Booker T appreciation, there's Stephanie. Yes. Stephanie. Booker and Roxy. Trick. There it is. Okay. Love it. Oh, yeah, man. Exactly. RT Rick, man. What's up, dude? Good to see you. This is so ridiculous, but my biggest takeaway is how tall Vic Joseph is. Because Booker T is not a short man. I believe in Joe Hendry. Oh, Usos. I think they just shot that last night. Oh, there's Roxy. Oh, Roxy's okay. Haven't seen her in a minute. Well, this has actually been kind of a sweet video package. I kind of expected them to sort of half-ass it a little, like, but they really did good on this. Oh, dude, Booker looks like he's about to cry. They got a plaque. Dude, I'm fully convinced. I was fully convinced this was just going to be a setup for an angle, and it probably still will be, but this is far more sincere than I was expecting. And you know what? For all the idiots who read Meltzer's newsletter and vote on those stupid, mean nothing awards that trashed on Booker T, I take this as much of a response to that as anything. And to put into perspective how much more he's actually contributed to wrestling than anybody from that circle of influence ever will. You deserve it, Chance from Houston. GI, bro. Booker's legit moved by this. He's got an actual plaque. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here's Carver. Carver just throwing refs. You're just telling everybody to shut up. Carver's got heat, man. Jeez. Carver's just dropping people. Carver's just a straight up bully, man. Oh, some of his students. All right. That's who they are. Yeah. Yeah. We got to get Jasper out here. Bring the chains, Jasper. Come on. Have your baby face moment. Okay. Here comes Jasper. He says, let's do this. And he's met him. Big E would be proud. We got a Big E special in the ring right now with Jasper and Keanu. And Jasper sends Keanu out the ring. Let these dudes fight. And they're playing Booker T's music to take us out of the segment. It was a little fast, but Booker didn't have to take any bumps. Good for him. Exactly, last name. Exactly. Oh, that'd be cool to see Royce, yeah. Oh, and here comes the locker room out to give Booker his flowers. This is weird. I mean, like, it's sweet. I like it. But now they're doing this after Jasper has sent Keanu packing. Booker telling Stone, this doesn't need to be happening in my city. They keep playing his music. What? Okay, so they cut. So they went to commercial, but I still have a feed here, so I'll let you guys know. Booker's not speaking into the mic anymore, but he's jawing back and forth with Robert Stone from the ring to the stage, and the rest of the locker room is out now on the stage, you know, giving Booker a standing ovation, and Booker's kind of calmed down now a bit. But they're all out here. I see Jada, Jacy. This is kind of a shoot moment. There's no heel face alignment on the stage. And Jasper staying in the ring with Booker. Picture in picture. Okay, George. Cool. Jasper daps up Booker one more time. I see Miles and Soul, and interesting they're keeping Jasper in the ring. Booker, I think he's leaving the ring. Oh, okay. So Wren Sinclair is about to make her entrance. So I guess when we come back from the break, it'll be time for the speed title match, y'all. So get excited. Here comes the Wren QCC, baby. All right, Wren. Now's your time, young lady. Get that gold. Yeah. I'm going to be massively disappointed if she does not win this match. That's all I got to say. All right, and here comes Fatal Influence. So we got about a minute left or so, and it's all three. The Fatal Influence, Fallon Henley, defending the Speed Championship against Wren Sinclair. And we've got one Rengenda item and one Rengenda item only. New Speed Champion tonight. Let's do this. Yeah, Chris, it was something else. Booker's on back on commentary saying he's going to be making a phone call. So Booker's still hot. And yeah, George, probably some shenanigans here too. But I don't know that it works well this time. We'll see. I just believe, man. Believing makes wrestling better, and I believe in Wren Sinclair for this match. I hope I'm right. All right, here we go, guys. Last name, that's a whole lot of tonnage in the ring. Yeah, Chris, I don't know, man. I wonder who we gonna call. All right, 5-minute time limit. Here we go. All right, Wren, now's your time. Interesting, RT Rick. I had heard rumors that she golly, jeez. That I'd heard that Wren had spent some time on AEW, but yeah, I think she's got a good thing going here. What's up, Mod Father? Good to see you, my friend. We are just in time for Wren Sinclair's speed title challenge against Fallon Henley. You did miss the women's triple threat NXT title match. Jacy Jayne retained over Soul and Zaria. All right, Lockwood, feel better, Lockwood. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Wren can work, man. Oh, she's going for that cattle mutilation already. She's been winning with that sort of cattle mutilation ish, the wrench, or I can't remember what they call it now, but she's been winning some submission victories. So we about 4 minutes left here already, for 1 minute down in the match. That's true. Fallon Henley did eat an F5 on the outside of the ring earlier tonight. All right, Wren's hanging in there. 3.5 minutes. Modfather, we have not seen Miss Parker yet. I mean, I know she's in the building because they did a Booker T appreciation segment just a minute ago, but she was present for that, but she has not been featured tonight yet. So there's still time for that.
First place top winner.
Let's go. Did you make all those Heritage boys crash out?
A little bit, yeah. They weren't even close.
Hey, honey.
If I can brag to the chat, my son won his shot put event at his track meet today. So we got another Obafemi coming up in the house in a few years. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, sorry.
All right, we got our corned beef cookie. Right? You're like, okay. I'm like, well, I don't know. You gotta. No, we did.
All right, we're coming down 2.5 minutes. All right, let's go, Wren. Oh man, and you know what? For those that don't like the speed format, I'm not judging you, and it's fine if you don't like it. But one thing that I'm impressed by is the way they book some of the matches that come down to the last second. That's very difficult to execute well when you're working with an active clock in the ring. That's not just regular TV time. Come on, we believe. The Renjenda is in full effect. Let's go. Double chops to Fallon. 90 seconds. Uh-oh. Reverse the victory roll. Nope. Boom. She got it. She got the wrench, the final wrench. She got the kettlebell. Let's go. Renjenda in full effect. New champion, baby. New champion. After so many episodes, Jacy Jayne is in shock. And so is Lady Reed. Great sequence to lock in that finisher, too. She's such a good wrestler. She deserves a much larger reaction than what she's getting. She's getting a good reaction from the crowd, but still, oh, man. The crowd popped hard once they realized she hit the move. Dude, she wrenches that hard, too. She's like on her toes. Way to go, Wren. That's my marked moment of the night already. I'm going to tell you. Oh my gosh, even little kids. There we go. All right, Wren QCC. You deserve it, girl. Congratulations. Wren Sinclair, speed champion. Only the beginning. She'll be North American champion before it's all over with, too. Not at the same time, but, eventually. Shamanica, I'm glad you saw it, too. Thank you, Dossie. Very proud. Very proud, Papa. Love it. Ricky and Ethan complaining to Robert Stone. Yeah, Dossie. Shamanica, Ethan and Ricky basically both tried to attack Joe Hendry. Joe fought back. He beat up both of them, but then Tony D'Angelo came in and wrecked everybody.
It was good. Yeah. Like 12 something. And then
Ricky Saints versus Tony D'Angelo next week, 1-on-1.
this on a full workout and then on a shorter workout and all time for a bit. And then 8 months.
There's a
Yeah.
Oh, Shamanica, did you see the 6-man tag with the Vanity Project and the Americanos, which the Americanos won? That was a good. It was a really fun 6-man tag. It reminded me of Nitro era WCW. Last name, what's next for Dark State? Dark State is, oh no, they're not. So Dark State was disqualified from the tag title tournament along with OTM. So I think there's going to be a little mini feud with OTM and Dark State. That's what we see next for them. As to what that's actually going to result in, I don't know. Oh, Modfather, listen to me, brother. We're going to put this up on the screen so we can all talk about it. And I, the proud papa that I am, proclaimed by others, wrestling historian, I want to give you guys some comfort. But first, I want to read our Modfather's comment. Brock better put Oba over at WrestleMania, because if they don't, let me tell you, come a little closer. I back up. I'm burning it all down, and you'll see the biggest crash out ever. I don't fault you for those feelings, Modfather. You could even go so far as to say I share them. However, for all the things that Brock has done in his career in the ring, we're talking about, that I don't care for, I will give credit where credit is due. When he wants to put someone over, he can make them look like $1 million. And while we only have one interaction to judge from, which was last night so far, Brock definitely seems to be in a giving spirit to Obafemi. So I will say this. I'm of the belief that Oba is going to win at WrestleMania. If he doesn't, I am of the firm belief that this feud is not done. And when it's all said and done, Oba will be victorious. This just doesn't have the same ring to it of one of those matches where Brock just does Brock things and walks away and wins. Because, like, let's say when he took on Goldberg, eventually Brock did win that feud, but he looked like a fool in front of Goldberg a couple of times, including a loss in like 86 seconds, right? Additionally, Drew McIntyre, and we talked about this at the beginning of the show. Right before COVID hit, Drew and Brock had a segment before WrestleMania where Drew laid out Brock, and you could see Brock on the ground communicating to Drew, hey, pick up the belt, pose with the belt, helping him find his spot, right? And he did the same thing with Oba last night, saying, put your foot on my chest, put your foot on my chest. So he's trying to make something good with Oba, which tells me, and the only reason I don't think it's a feud is because this was billed as an open challenge from Brock. And open challenges, I don't particularly gravitate towards thinking of in terms of a feud, even if that's just the first step in it. But I'm going with, I'm already predicting Oba winning that match. But if he doesn't, then I don't think they're done. Because Oba hasn't had a real match that he's won cleanly. When I say a real match, let me rephrase. He hasn't had a match against the level of competition that he is being positioned as, that he has won cleanly. The only people he's beaten are Johnny Gargano, the War Raiders, and Kit Wilson. Remember his match with Cody at Saturday night's main event? No contest. His only other main event level high-profile match on the main roster was against Cody, and he's got the one with Brock coming up. And then Rusev, but Rusev is a mid-carder. And I don't mean that in a denigrating sort of way. That's just what Rusev is. So Brock, he has not had a main event level one-on-one match that he has won cleanly yet. So he absolutely should be beating Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Because here's the thing. When Brock Lesnar shows up again after Mania, people aren't going to, I won't say people have forgotten, but he's not going to have any stink on him. Does anybody think less of Brock for losing to Cody a couple of years ago? No. Brock is Brock when he shows up now. He's at the highest echelon. with Punk and Roman and, Cody and those guys. Like, he can lose, but when he comes back, it's whatever. So anyway, Birthright in the ring, now that we're back, has just jumped Hank and Tank. So anyway, hold on to that crash out, Modfather. Have a little faith in the system. I know Brock doesn't give us a lot of faith when he when he squares up against our brothers with our Kofis and our Big E's and Bobby Lashley's. But I just believe it could be different because the Oba is different. Anyway, I've said my piece. I'll let it be what it is. Hank and Tank taking it to Stacks. Oh, Stacks. Why is Stacks in this match? We got Stacks and Connors. Father asks, not trying to be rude, but hear me out. Do you think if Vince was still in control, do you really think he would actually put Stephanie in the Hall of Fame? Not this year. I don't think I don't think he would at all. Ever would Vince do it? Probably not. I don't think so. I don't think he would put his family in the Hall of Fame. Any of them. Even if they deserved it, I don't think he would. It just doesn't seem like a Vince move, And I don't mean that because I'm saying Vince is a piece of trash. Listen, Vince is a piece of trash for other reasons. But that just doesn't seem like his personality. He's never seemed that sentimental when it comes to stuff like the Hall of Fame. So I say no, Modfather. What do you say? If Vince was still in charge, would we have gotten Ultimate Warrior, Bruno Sammartino, Demolition in the Hall of Fame? Those guys eventually got there, but I think a lot of that was Hunter smoothing things over. All right. I got to admit, I'm a little disappointed that Stacks is one of the members of the tag team here. But I guess if you think about it, having Lexis King and Dempsey be singles in this group, I don't know. Because if I'm being honest, my perception of Birthright, I would want Connors and Dempsey to be the tag team, Baby Regal and Baby Finley, with Lexis as their manager, their mouthpiece. And again, Stacks doesn't have to be there. Ariana can be there too, obviously. But Hank and Tank Tank is doing a little belly rubbing in Ariana's direction. Tank did a diving cannonball off the apron and wiped out. Birthright stood up and got in Booker T's face and not a John Cena, but the Booker T hand stare. Good stuff. Superplex coming onto Stacks from Hank. Are we about to get a Power and Glory? Powerplex? No. Okay. Wow. Into a swanton. Only two. Connors breaks it up with his own swanton. Last name, I haven't watched the interview with Chris Masters, but I did see a clip. I saw a clip of him talking about how hard it was to do the master, like how green he was early in his career, doing the Master Lock Challenge, and how he accidentally hurt Hurricane, how he was being too stiff by accident because he just didn't know how to work it. And that was an interesting clip. Obviously I knew Masters was kind of green in the ring, but I didn't realize the Master Lock Challenge could be so, I don't want to say dangerous, but that it could be stiff. Big boss man slam from Hank, and off come the shirts. Oh, Lexis King just threw Stacks in the corner and took the belly bump from Hank and Tank. Oh, and Stacks made a tag Here comes Connors with a sneaky pin. Birthright. Lexus King took a bullet for the team and created a distraction. That's too bad, Brooks, man. This hasn't been a bad show. The speed match was great. The Booker T segment was pretty good. The opening match was solid. The 6-man tag was good. So, guess it's just a long night wherever you are, man. But this has been a good show. Finish was good in this match. It took a minute to get there, but otherwise, not a bad episode of NXT tonight. I'd say it's a solid episode. AB Combos in the house. What's up, guys? Take the cuffs off the ladies and watch how NXT lets them shine. Now on to the men slapping men. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to get Keanu and Jasper Troy happening probably. Joe Hendry is looking for Tony D. Tony D better be taking that belt at Stand and Deliver. That's all I got to say. Oh, we got a fight out in the back. There's Dark State and OTM fighting in the parking lot. Oh, Dion Lennox just pounced one of the OTM guys off a loading dock, Jade Cargill style. Dark State just carjacked OTM without the car. Dang. That's probably the most vicious I've seen Dark State in a minute. They must have had a sit down with HBK and be like, hey, guys, we're about to cut y'all or something. Because, yeah, that was some aggression. That's probably some of the most, we talk about this a lot. Now that Amy and Combos are in the chat, we talk about it amongst the coalition a lot, especially me and AJ. That and also one of the last episodes of Mount Rushmore matches that I did with my big brother. There's a lost art in wrestling of trying to look like you're hurting your opponent without actually doing it. There's a level of aggression you throw into your moves, into your work. It's not actually dropping people on their heads, not actually hitting them with unprotected chair shots to the head. It's the aggression. It's the effort. It's laying in it. It's laying into it without being stiff. And that is the work. That is the effort. That is the magic of pro wrestling. It's trying to make something look absolutely devastating, lethal, and vicious without actually doing it. And what we just saw in the parking lot is the best version from Dark State that I've ever seen them do it. That is who Dark State should have been since the beginning. So trim the fat of Cutler James and his weird butt jokes, which he hasn't done for a while. I'll give him credit. But trim that, keep the other three guys, and put that kind of aggression behind it. In the words of the late Carl Weathers, baby, you got a stew going. We'll be cooking with something there. So, yeah, at the end of the day, it is not about, I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody, okay? But it's not about how violent, how realistically and like shoot violent you are. It's not about how many staples you have in your head at the end of the night or how many stitches you have to get. It's looking like you're supposed to get stitches. And something interestingly enough, we talked about, go back and watch my Mount Rushmore episodes on Ricky the Dragon Steamboat this week in the WWF. One of his matches, spoiler alert, was with Jake the Snake Roberts. His feud with Jake the Snake started off because Jake, who had a protected finisher, the DDT, DDT'd him on a concrete floor. And we entertained the idea because Ricky Steamboat is one of the best sellers in wrestling history. Could he possibly have been selling that DDT, but we agreed we still thought it was real because you could hear the sound of his head hitting the concrete. And Steamboat was knocked out cold for real to start off that segment. So it works against my argument a little bit there. But yeah, please check out the Mount Rushmore shows. Because not only that, in my episode descriptions, I post YouTube links to the matches we talk about, so you can go watch them. So the episode is just me and my brother talking about the matches, but you can still open them up, in another tab, another window, and watch along as we're talking, or check them out or whatever. Again, we've done episodes on the Steiner brothers, 2 episodes on Ricky Steamboat, and 1 on Nikita Koloff, who I highly recommend as well, if you like a big monster. Thea Hale talking to Tatum Paxley backstage. And yeah, I can use, I love as many views as I can get on the Mount Rushmore matches, because that'll get us closer and closer to introducing a Super Chat championship to the channel once we get Super Chat enabled. Kalani talking to Thea now. I kind of like Kalani's new direction. Oh, here's Miss Parker. We about to have Kalani and Miss Parker. Wow. All right, next week we're getting Thea and Kalani. Jacy is celebrating and Fallon is in her feelings. Shamanika, I see your comment. I want to come back to it in a minute. Okay, Fallon and Laney challenging Kendall and Wren next week. Next week shaping up to be a great show. Robert Stone talking to North American champion Miles Bourne. Gauntlet Eliminator to figure out who's going to be the next opponent for Miles. Now here's Birthright. Last name, the main event's going to be the cage match with Tatum and Izzi. Put Dempsey in the tournament in the Gauntlet Eliminator. Come on, Dempsey should be North American champion. Oh, Sexy Red is going to be at Stand and Deliver. All right, Shamanika, you said you saw a video about someone bid AJ Styles $1 million on 2K and he lost, and he exposed 2K about how the controls are too much. You know what? I'm not saying he's wrong, because 2K has its problems, but at the same time, AJ Styles is a notorious excuse maker with video games. He is such a sore loser when it comes to video games, and a rage quitter, and all kinds of stuff. It's kind of endearing in a way. I would hate to play against AJ Styles though. I'd feel uncomfortable if I beat him. Yeah, Izzi Dame got to lose this match. It's time for the main event, so we're going to get some time for this cage match. It looks like cage is up, and here comes Izzi Dame. All right. Yeah, Tatum just got the title back. So got the title, excuse me. No reason for her to drop the title immediately. And it would be nice for it would be nice for Tatum to defend at Stand and Deliver against, say, like Blake Monroe or somebody. Like Blake Monroe, it would be nice for her to kind of get back into that title scene after she had that, unfortunate loss to Thea Hale due to the botch. Yeah, Thea Hale and Kalani Jordan next week for sure. A rapper has a song that game the soundtrack says buying that trash. Yeah. Somebody asked me earlier in the night what I think of 2K, but yeah, I don't have it either. Man, the TKO pricing infection has now reached the video games too. The version that I want is super expensive, and then the season, well, it's not a season pass, whatever they call it now. The I don't know, the tiers or whatever it is you have to do to get unlockables feels really annoying. So with it already costing so much to get this year's game and all the grinding that would have to take place to actually get all of the unlockables available that I would want to have at the ready in order to like stream for you guys like we did with the tournaments in 2K25. Just seems like a whole lot of effort for not a lot of value. You know what I mean? Yes, Shamanica, 400 wrestlers in 2K, and there's only about 100 you'd actually see. Yeah, the rest are like versions of toys or, the make-believe indie wrestlers that are in the the storyline. Tell you what, man, they need to go back to where you can do an actual story mode with existing wrestlers and like the road to WrestleMania, and open up the tournaments a little bit more. I really wish we could get a little, I mean, the licensing is crazy, so it's hard to do, but like, I really wish they could bring back, stop getting rid of legends in the game too. Like, cause Steamboat's not in the game this year, who, he's my guy. And so anyway, it's just disappointing, I suppose. I tell you, yeah, RT PS2 is a goated system for sure. It had one of the deepest game libraries of all time, and a great life cycle for a game system too. I remember the day I graduated college. I hadn't been playing video games since the Nintendo 64. Like I just kind of took college off. I had a few roommates who had a PS2, and so I would watch them play sometimes. But tried to focus on my studies. I went to college in Georgia, and I passed by the Mall of Georgia on my way home after graduation, and I stopped in there and I bought a refurbished PS2, SmackDown, Shut Your Mouth, and Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I might have bought something, maybe a Madden game or a football game. I don't remember if I did that or not, but those were two games that I started off with. And yeah, and then had some really unproductive days post graduation going through those games. But man, those two games in particular were a ton of fun. But yeah, like so many great PS2 games, so many great PS2 games. Yeah, custom music would be fantastic too. I would love to do that. There's so much in digital rights management that gets on my nerves. Like, I feel like if you buy the game, you should be able to do things in the game. All right, next week, Tony D'Angelo versus Ricky Saints. There's a little trouble in paradise, no Kofi intended, between Ricky and Ethan. George, the NCAA sports games were goated as well. NBA and Madden were good too, but I was with you on the NCAA games. I actually got back into those now that they've been re-released again. All right, last name. Take care, brother. I'll see you next time as we begin the main event here as Tatum makes her entrance. Oh, NBA Street, NFL Street. Good call, Modfather. Yes. I'll tell you what, man, NBA Street, if I'm remembering correctly, was a wild game too, because back in the day, man, it was really hard to find a basketball game where you could play as Michael Jordan. And I remember him being, I want to say, in one of the NBA Street games, and that was a huge deal before he got that 2K version that was all about him. But yeah, good stuff. Tony needs that natty entrance with the big guards. Ooh, I feel you, Shamanica. Good call. Oh, Did Izzi already attacked before the bell? So Izzi hasn't, Tatum didn't get in the cage yet. So I guess the match hasn't started yet. But Izzi starting with the attack. Man, so I guess the match technically hasn't started yet. Is that Tatum's like mom or somebody? There was a very emotional fan there ringside. Oh, swinging the cage door right into Tatum. I didn't know that about the GameCube. I kind of completely missed the GameCube, Modfather. I played Smash Brothers on somebody else's GameCube before. Izzi stops to get a chair to get into the cage, and now the cage door is shutting. Bell rings, and now we're getting started. And she misses the chair shot, and Tatum already getting the offense started. All right, so pinfalls and submissions are in the cage, and I'm assuming cage escape as well. Yeah, Shamanica. Kiana is really making a case for herself slowly on the main roster. I think she could really be somebody here soon. And Izzi, yeah, Izzi is she's building a case for herself too. I'm not fully sold on her, but she definitely is improving each and every time.
When I start doing what? Oh, the beer. Oh, wait, I thought you were saying it. Yeah, the beer. Liquid.
Which bowl do you want?
Oh, the big bowl.
Man, slamming Izzy's face into the cage. You know what I miss seeing, and this might be a little old school for some of you guys, but it's getting somebody's face and just cheese grating it on the side of the cage. They used to do that to Flair all the time with the big platinum blonde hair, and he would look like a red Q-tip by the end of it. Man, that was some good old-fashioned cage violence. Let's go Tatum chance. Tatum knocked off the top rope. Izzi keeps trying to climb to the top, but they're just taking turns, taking shots at each other. Yeah, George. Well, traditionally speaking, a cage match usually can serve to be a blow-off for a feud. So I feel like this should be the end of this feud here. And I hope that's the case. This crowd is surprisingly getting quieter, though. Oh, double head slam into the cage. And both ladies down on the mat. Probably about to take a commercial break here. Should be, I would think, our last commercial break before we end the show tonight. So let's see what we got here. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream tonight. We're about 10 minutes away from the end of the show. I think it's been a good show. And next week, we're going to keep rolling towards Stand and Deliver. And the product keeps getting better, There's still some room for improvement. Oh, man. An inside the ring suicide dive from Tatum. Modfather, question: do you think War Games is considered a cage match? You know what, Modfather? I would. This is a cop out. I'm sorry. I'm going to say yes and no, because traditionally, it also depends what kind of War Games you're talking about, right? Because old school War Games was submission only, no escape, no pinfall. And in modern war games, escaping the cage is a forfeit. And escaping the cage is a big tenet of traditional cage matches, right? So I kind of consider war games to be its own animal. Um, Hell in a Cell, I would call a cage match, but I would say no. I wouldn't consider war games a cage match. It has the environment of the cage match, but the rules conflict with traditional cage match rules. So I'd say no. With the alternating entrance, um, the inability to escape the cage and still win. So I'd say no. Ronda Rousey, dude. I don't need to see Ronda Rousey. I mean, listen, I don't watch AEW, so it's no skin off my nose. So it doesn't really matter to me, but I don't need to see Ronda Rousey in a wrestling ring anymore. That time is come and gone. I was talking, I don't know if A and B are still in the chat, but I was talking to A about this earlier. I said the minute when she was feuding with Becky Lynch, the minute she had to stoop to the level of saying, if this was a real fight, I'd kill you, she lost. Like, she lost all sense of aura to me. I'm like, if you can't play along with kayfabe in wrestling and you have to like, it's like playing tag and like trying to change the rules as it's going along as a kid, trying to make up the rules to the game as you go along because you're losing. And she just, I don't know. I just had a cognitive disconnect with her as a performer after that. I'm like, all right, Rhonda, whatever. We all know you're an MMA fighter, but that's not what we're watching. So there's nothing badass about that. Who cares? So yeah. But you know what? AEW do whatever they want to do. They could use more marketable stars like her. So let's see how they use her. They do need more household names. So maybe it'll be good for them, but we'll see. But the thing is, though, is that Toni Storm is also a really good pro wrestler, just like Becky Lynch is a really good pro wrestler, which what I mean by that is they're capable of, knowing how to do the work and having good matches and building up good feuds. Tatum Paxley climbing to the top of the cage, by the way. But Izzi looks like she's going to catch her. Oh, Tatum's hanging off the other side already, though. Anyway, I think Toni Storm, with her promo ability, could very easily rattle Ronda for real. And AEW, from my perception of it, does not seem to have the same disciplinary oversight in their creativity like WWE does. Like when Charlotte and Tiffany started shooting on each other, they nipped that in the bud, right? And yet we saw a bunch of things that happened in AEW when people went into business for themselves on promos, right? Multiple things. If that happens with Toni Storm and Ronda Rousey, it could be a hot mess, and not in a good way. So, but we'll see what happens. But I think Toni could definitely rage bait Ronda Rousey for real. Maybe not even trying to, because she's that good of a worker, and Ronda doesn't work. She's a shoot fighter, so, and that concept of working doesn't really seem to do much, with her. Izzi maybe trying for a superplex on Tatum on the top of the cage. Jeez. Was that a superplex or a blockbuster? Kind of hard to see. I think more of a superplex. All right. What a bump from Tatum, though. Izzi's crawling her way over to make a cover. Middle of the ring. Hooks the leg. 2.9. Tatum survives. Jeez. Oh, man, the sound of that bump, too. Yeah, Dossie, the microphone might be the best feud Ron has ever had. She really put that mic over. Okay, it is Tatum Paxley's mom at ringside. Okay. Fireman's carry. Nope. Tatum reverses, counters. Oh, leapfrog. And Tatum now. Oh, whisper in the wind. Only gets 2. Tatum is dressed a little hardy-ish tonight.
What you doing? You gonna go boy today? You gonna go boy? Yeah. Keep the carrot.
I don't know why she said that. She ruined Asuka's big moment 2018 and got the title the same year when others have been working hard. Yeah, they wanted Ronda to be a big deal. I mean, listen, they got a whole lot of press when she first showed up. And that initial match, the mixed tag match, was a lot of fun. But yeah, I don't know. Oh man, Tatum. Oh, Izzi had it scouted. Oh, sky high. Oh no, 2, only 2. Thank goodness. Tatum went back to that spot where she reversed the code breaker into like a backflip counter, which is pretty cool. It looked a little less like a no-sell this time. Yeah, there's no culling here. Ringside. Izzy's finally got the chair again, and now starting to take shots at Tatum. George Tatum is from Dallas, so she's also a Texas girl. And I don't know where Izzy's from, but I do believe she played volleyball for Michigan State, I think, if I'm remembering that correctly. Powerbomb coming up. Oh, no. Tatum grabs the cage. Tatum holding on to the cage. Now Izzy turning around. Oh, gosh. Sunset flip onto Izzy, onto the chair. Yeah, you're right, Shamanica. She's from Dallas. Tatum's got the chair now. She throws, and a spin kick onto the chair. Not a Van Daminator. Cemetery drive. Woo. Her head almost hit the chair, but she didn't. Tatum, cemetery drive. She successfully defends her North American title. Big ovation from the crowd. Lots of applause for Tatum. And hopefully we can put this feud to bed, find new challengers, new feuds for both these ladies. It's been real, Tatum and Izzy, but let's move both of y'all on to somebody else. Tatum posing with the belt as we see some of the replays. 100% my marked moment tonight. So the powerbomb reversal was kind of a code red into the chair. It happened so fast, it was kind of hard to process what was being done. But anyway, marked moment of the night for me, Wren Sinclair winning the Speed Championship 100%. The only title change out of the 3 titles that we saw defended. But things are progressing. And now Izzy standing on the ramp. Oh, who's here? Is that Blake Monroe? Blake Monroe just came up out of the stage, almost Undertaker style, and drags her in through a trap door and is now holding up the North American title. Blake Monroe, well, we found out who the next contender is going to be, and there it is. It's like a glamorous Undertaker rising up out of a trap door in the stage with smoke behind her. Kind of like dragging her to hell, but not really. What would be the glamour version of hell? Like Walmart, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that pose on the tower. I was waiting for somebody to come running out, but she came out from underneath. So there you go. All right, guys. Really good episode tonight. Fun stuff. We have more evidence as to the direction we're going in now, which is always good to see where things are shaping up to be. A lot of good. Seeing the aggression come out of Dark State was nice. It looks like we're going to get multiple things from Birthright. Birthright advances in the tag title tournament, and they also are going to be aiming for Miles Bourne's North American title as well, which is kind of cool. I'm into that. Wren Sinclair, of course, New Speed champion. Soul and Zaria will have a face-to-face interaction next week. Tony D'Angelo is going to be taking on Ricky Saints, and we already see Joe Hendry wanting a piece of Tony as well. So lots of things happening. And of course, Jasper Troy shows up to defend the honor of Booker T against Keanu Carver as well. In a good segment as well. Yes, George. So Stand and Deliver. If you're not international or watching through a VPN where you can watch on Netflix, Stand and Deliver will be free on YouTube going forward. The NXT PLEs will be on YouTube. So make sure you check out Stand and Deliver Saturday, April 3rd, I do believe it is. We should be rocking and rolling Marked by Wrestling to do Stand and Deliver because it is the sort of WrestleMania of NXT. So, and we're going to get to see it a couple of weeks before Mania itself this time instead of on the same weekend. So they'll get their own weekend to shine, which will be really good. So all that said and done, be on the lookout for a marked moment poll later on tonight. And also, check out Mount Rushmore matches when you have time. And hope to see you all again very soon. Thanks so much for joining us tonight for our NXT watch along. And I'll be with you again very soon. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Don't forget to be a mark. Being a mark means you believe, and believing makes wrestling better. You guys have a great night, and I will see you next time.